we actually went behind schedule because we had weekly meetings that would go on for maybe 4 hours. And Ohashi-san was like, so there's something we do in the anime industry when we're in like a writer's block or whatever. Sometimes we just take a retreat to like an onsen or something. And I was like, that's really cool. And he was like, we should go on a retreat.
God's paying. Let's go.
Hey, let's just increase the budget. Let's go on a retreat. We'll figure this out in the onsen.
Welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste Podcast. I'm Connor, your host, once again joined by the boys, Joey and Garnt. Today is a very special episode. Very special episode because Garnt has recently just announced his anime. Hopefully, if we've timed this correctly.
Yes.
This is going to be
This is coming out right during the middle of Anime Expo, I believe.
Okay. Awesome.
So the trailer for my anime has just dropped. And
long time coming, bro.
I'm going to pretend that I know what the reaction is.
I'm sure it's good.
Damn, you guys think it's mid? It's taking a lot of work, guys.
Solid 6 on my anime list.
It's taking a lot of work, you know. I've only been working this on like close to 2 years now.
Yeah, it's like your life's work. It's like
no biggie. You know, whatever.
It's like if I said, like, I literally saw Pinocchio come to life and I was like, yeah, that's mid. Like, yeah, okay, Giuseppe.
Yeah,
manga was better.
Yeah. So at the time of recording, we are still obviously in the process of making the anime. In fact, we are right as deep in production as you can be, as the boys know.
Yeah, I feel like every other day you're going to record something or write something or have a meeting for something. Like, I feel it's just balls to the walls for you recently.
Pretty much, because we are in like, I guess, as close to like, not exactly crunch time, but we have a deadline to meet for this AX trailer premiere. So we're basically trying to complete as much as we can so that we hopefully have enough material to premiere a trailer at AX. And if we don't, then this is going to age very, very badly.
Everyone's like, wait, what? You did that?
Yeah. So I'm laughing, but it is definitely a coping mechanism because I am like...
But it'll be done, right?
It'll be done. It'll be done. It'll be done.
Right?
It'll be done. It'll be done. It'll be done. Trust me. Trust me. This is coming out July 5th, right? That's the Saturday, or July 6th. That's the Saturday.
Something like that.
It's going to be done. But yeah, so by the time, so let me tell you the guy's schedule about how long this trailer is going to take, or how much time my team is going to get to like get all material and make a trailer. I think we have 1 day. I think as per anime industry or anime industry deadlines, everything's going up right up until as far as possible as we can push it, because we wanted to at least make enough material for this trailer, and they've told us that with everything that we're planning for the trailer, then they should be able to get it to us, I think, July 2nd, maybe.
Okay.
At the latest.
God damn. So you're going to fly to LA just like sweating your balls off, being like, please deliver.
Please. Editing team, please. Come on, you guys can lock in for the trailer, right? But yeah, it's been something that I've been working on for... God, I can't even remember how long I've been working on this.
I want to feel like you told us about it like...
A year ago?
Oh, longer than a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, like a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe?
Yeah,
Jesus.
So do you guys know the beginning of how this started?
No, please tell us.
All right, I'll indulge everyone on the entire origin story before actually talking about my fucking anime.
Go on.
So do you remember... I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember exactly when.
I don't remember.
But we were chilling upstairs, doing our thing, you know, just waiting for our next recording.
Yeah.
Maylin like pops in like the gremlin she is. She's like, hey guys.
That was definitely at least 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen her in like 2 years.
Yeah. Maylin pops in and she's like, you guys interested in like making an anime opening for Trash Taste?
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, we were
I
like,
do remember that.
Like,
Like, we were toying with the idea because there was we're not going to say the name of the artist, but there was a very prominent Japanese artist.
That was the only reason why we were like kind of open to
There
it.
was a very prominent Japanese artist
Yeah.
who has done some legendary anime openings who were potentially interested in helping us to make that. But we were like, I mean, what are we gonna do with it? Like, we're like,
we kind of felt like
cool.
it'd be a waste of so much talent.
Yeah, right.
waste of talent, waste of
Just for an anime
funds,
opening.
and it would be a cool thing, but kind of like we all came to the agreement that it sounded a little bit cheesy as well.
Yeah.
Because like making an anime opening for a podcast. So I don't know how you guys feel. It feels like something I'd commission in 2010 YouTube.
Oh, dude, I would have been creaming in my pants like,
It
if
is,
that
it
offer
is,
came
it is
to me then.
peak 2010. I think it just feels like an excessive use of talent,
Yeah.
funds, time to make an anime opening, which would be kind of sick, but at the same time, probably you're like
Like unless I'm an actual like VTuber or something where my aesthetic actually matches up with anime, I'm just like seems kind of like a little cheesy for me.
It's like you watch this amazing anime opening and then it's like so farts and piss, right? It's like
Poo poo pee pee stinky, right?
it's like okay, maybe not right. So I think we ended up
we ended up shooting it down.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't just the artist that was looking for any kind of like work, but it was also, I think she mentioned that Katakawa had some like excess budget that year or excess like funds that they wanted to maybe put into some experimental animation projects.
Sure.
And Maylin was just pitching us ideas like a Trash Taste anime opening or
a Trash Taste manga.
Trash Taste manga or
which
like
we were like,
she's like, hey, you could animate some of your food takes or do a slice of life Trash Taste, and I'm like, do you know Connor hates slice of life, right?
Yeah.
you know Connor hates slice of
And I
life.
also think all three of us do have a rough meter for quality indication, and I feel like if we were actually going to do a manga, we'd want to make it good. If we're making it good, it would probably take over our entire lives.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, there has to be like a serious question of like priorities. Of,
Yeah,
like,
which I can attest to because this has taken over my entire life.
Yeah.
But I heard what was going on, and I was like, I was thinking, I was like, I think I see an opportunity here. I think because she mentioned that, hey, they might be open to experimental animation projects. So I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, it's always been my fucking dream just to make an anime. Doesn't necessarily need to be a whole full anime series, but just to like tell some kind of like story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I daydreamed like fuck as a kid. I daydreamed so much, and definitely was one of those kids where I was like daydreaming when I was watching Dragon Ball Z, fucking daydreaming about all the shit happening there.
Looking at Goku like, God, I wish that was me.
Yeah, coming up with my own stories and stuff.
You've always been very strong in structuring narratives, I think. So I think like it's another reason why I think a manga, I didn't want to sign on to it, because I'm like, I can't offer as much as Garnt, and I would feel bad being like, let's do a 3-way split, and I'm not pulling my weight. But for you, I feel like it made so much sense because you're already so good at telling stories.
Well, thank you. It's an entire learning process, because I was like, took Maylin to one side and I was like, Maylin, would it be possible to pitch an anime short film of like some sort to Katakawa for this pitch that you're going to make instead of like a Trash Taste anime project? And I remember I asked you, Joe, if you want to do something as well, and you're like, I have ideas for a light novel, but I don't. I've
always wanted to write a book, and I still do. But when turning that into animation, I'm just like, oh, that's like 70,000 more steps that I got to deal with. Which because at the time when you were doing that, I was pretty balls deep in doing the nonsense stuff already.
Oh yeah,
so I couldn't really. I didn't want to commit to another big project.
Yeah. And so Joe, you said no, so I was like, okay, I guess this is just me. And Maylin was like, yeah, we can do something. Do you have an idea? And I was like, no. I do not have an idea,
but the passion is there.
But I can make an idea. Like, what do you need? When do you need it? What do you need? And she was like, okay, if you don't have an idea, you can pitch something. You have a deadline. It's within 3 months. So it's either 2.5 or 3 months. I can't remember the exact timeline. And I was like, great, I got some time. Just one problem, right? We were going on tour in America for 2 months.
Yeah.
We were going on tour in America for 2 months, And so when she said 2.5 months, the cogs start turning in my brain, and I was like, I'm going to have to say yes. I'm going to lie and say I can do it, because it's kind of like this opportunity comes along, you either lock in.
Creative things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You either lock in or you lose the opportunity.
For sure.
So I just blindly told her, don't worry, I'm going to get it done. I will bring you something by the deadline, knowing full well that I would have like 2 weeks to work on this after we come back from tour. So we go off on tour. Fucking, as you guys know, it's like exhausting. It's an exhausting 2 months. Come back mentally drained, and I'm like, and I immediately just have to like do this project. I have to think of something. I don't even have like an idea at this point of what I want to do. So this might be a surprise to you guys. Like this might be a surprise, but I was like, I think I should do an isekai. And I have logic behind it. Okay, because I have a lot of like, I have so many ideas for like different stories and different things I want to tell. But the logic behind it this time was I'm pitching to Katakawa. What do Katakawa make a lot of?
Isekai.
Yes,
Nothing but facts here.
I mean, look, I've seen the other stuff they've greenlit. So I feel like this, if they want to say yes to some of this other stuff, should be an easy.
Look. Katagawa do a lot of things. They do stuff like Oshinoko. They do so many different genres. But on top of that, they do also have a lot of light novels under their umbrella. They also a lot of isekais.
They also do the vending machine isekai.
Yeah, look. It's I swear to God, guys, it is nothing to do with me as a person. I was just playing the numbers. It was risk versus reward. What is the genre that is most likely to get greenlit? I was like, I got to go to isekai.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you made the smart move there, I feel.
Yeah. So I decided, okay, if I'm going to go isekai, if I'm going to go the isekai route, I got to think up something that is a little bit different, right? And so there's one part of isekai, as someone who watches a lot of isekai, there's one part of isekai that I thought didn't really get explored too much, and was something that I thought could make, even though it's technically an isekai, I didn't want it to feel just like your typical fantasy isekai that you see in a lot of other anime.
Sure.
And so the isekai, I thought, would be more of a stepping stone to build the platform of the world itself, rather than it just being another power fantasy isekai.
Okay.
And one aspect of isekai that I haven't really seen is what it's like to come home after going on this fucking massive journey in another world. Because you see a lot of characters going on this huge epic adventure to kill the demon lord or all this shit. But I think the closest thing I can think of is fucking Digimon or something. Where
they're back from the Digiworld.
Yeah. Where they actually get to come back from the digital world. And if there's one piece of advice that I've heard a lot, it's write what you know.
Yeah.
And I certainly know what it's like to, that feeling of coming back home after traveling for a long time or going on this fucking journey, living in different countries. So I was like, okay, that's kind of the angle that I wanted to take with this story. And so I had a basic idea of the plot and characters for this draft that I was going to write, but I only had 2 weeks. So I just did the same thing I did with all of my YouTube videos. I just sat down and fucking wrote.
You locked the fuck in.
I just locked the fuck in.
Okay.
For 2 weeks, I did not leave my room. And I was like telling this story about this guy who, so with one concept in this world that I've created is that it's not, it's an isekai, so it is another world, but it's not like a person was randomly transported to this other world. It's more akin to traveling to like a distant country far away. There is a transport system, which I will show in just a bit, but there is a transport system that transports, that allows people to freely travel between the two worlds, right? I would say it's more akin to the Earth before commercial flight was truly affordable. So it can happen, but it's just a lot more difficult than getting on a flight nowadays, you know.
Okay.
It's more of a commitment.
Yeah, it's more of a commitment. So that was like the basic idea around it. And it was the story about this guy who wanted to start a new life in another world. Doesn't work out, and then he kind of realizes that he really cherishes the home that he came from. Basic idea for a story. And I just sat down, didn't really plan it out, and I wrote it, and I somehow shit out a screenplay in 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay, so my first question is, have you ever written a screenplay before?
No.
Okay, so how did you... So not only did you have to shit out a screenplay in 2 weeks, but you also had to learn how to write a screenplay in 2 weeks.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So really...
My bro locked in.
When you pitched it, you had to hand them pretty much everything.
Yeah, I had to hand them like a complete short story, basically.
God damn.
wow.
And I don't know how I did it, but actually I do know how I did it because I shit out a screenplay within 2 weeks, and I'm like, this is it. I submit it. Don't hear anything.
Oh, fuck.
There's
nothing louder than silence.
I'm like, I don't get a call back.
Yeah.
1 week passes. Mainland's like, I submitted it. They haven't told me anything.
Okay.
2 weeks passes. 3 weeks passes. Nothing. And I'm like, Mainland's like, Mainland being Mainland, she doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
Sure.
Right? So she's like, I think they're just busy, you know, like,
Japanese companies, you know how they are.
You know, you were with Katakawa before. They just,
It
sometimes
does
they're just
take a
busy,
while.
and it's
Yeah.
just sometimes it takes a
It
while.
takes a while.
Then a month passes. Then 2 months passes. And I'm like, this probably ain't it.
Yeah.
And I can safely say that they definitely made the right choice. Because looking back, it was complete shit. Because of course
Wait,
it was.
wait. So they just ghosted your ass?
They just ghosted
What
me.
the fuck? I thought they would give you some sort of professional courtesy.
I thought they would.
They're in the same.
I thought the same, but I mean, it was.
They're busy. They're busy.
They're
I
busy.
didn't
They're
know
busy.
that.
I mean, if I had if I had read my very first screenplay, baby's first screenplay, I'd probably be like, this is not even fucking.
It's so funny.
worth-
They're so ass that they left you on red. It's like, I ain't even
like-
going to respond to this shit.
They're like, this is so ass. The fact that he submitted this says that he doesn't realize how fucking dog shit this is. I don't even think I can talk to a man this delusional.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, like I said, learning lesson, right?
Sure.
Looking back, of course, that first draft is going to fucking suck.
I mean, everyone has to start at zero.
But everyone, here's the big thing. The big thing that I've always, my big life philosophy is that obviously you can try to learn as much as possible. You can try to do the research. You can read. You can look at YouTube tutorials. But at the end of the day, my learning method is I don't internalize something unless I actually go out and try it. And if I had a bit more time, obviously I would have done a little bit more prep. But, an opportunity comes along and I was like, I just got to try something.
Of course.
And if I didn't try something, then I wouldn't have learned from the mistakes of that process and everything that went wrong in that process. And now I can look back at that first screenplay and see how dog shit it is because I had learned from it. And I realized everything I did wrong. It's pretty much the same philosophy that we do on YouTube as well. Like when we said yes to a tour, we had no fucking clue what we were doing.
And we didn't even know what the show was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't know until like a week before, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone who went to our live show, I think we had a meeting. Was it a week?
Yeah.
2 weeks before we were
It was less
scheduled.
than 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were scheduled to fly off to America, and we were like, "What are we doing for the show?"
Yeah, I think it was literally like after the tour company came back to us and was like, all right, guys, so here's the route. Here's everything. And then we're like, all right, sweet. What are we going to do?
I do remember that we basically had a very awkward meeting. We were like, they're like, what do you need for us on like the stage?
Yeah.
And we were like,
Mike's.
don't know, actually. That's a great question. And yeah, we started planning it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we came up with those ideas on the day. And then we practiced it once.
Yes.
And then it came out that like the audience just fucking loved it. And we were like, shit, did we just accidentally shit out something half decent?
It's like, damn, I guess we are the goat.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I think it was, we got very lucky there. I think we were all experienced in making content. So I think we knew how to make something entertaining.
Yeah.
But, definitely doing that live is
Yeah.
tough. But I mean, having two of your mates by also makes it a lot easier.
Exactly.
And you're like, if I fuck this up, Garnt will take over.
Yeah. They'll wipe my ass.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes we do something on a crunch and it just magically works like that.
You
need pressure sometimes. Sometimes it works like that. And then sometimes it works like my very first screenplay, which is, it doesn't work. But it's not about, it's not about the final result always. Sometimes it's just about just learning and making sure that you take every opportunity you can. Because I didn't know if another opportunity would come.
This video is sponsored by Shopify. When we first started the podcast, it seemed like we had to figure out everything all on our own. Scripts, setup, filming, logos, everything, and it was all too overwhelming. And so when we started selling merch, it felt obvious that we needed a better solution. And thanks to Shopify, it's simple. When you're starting off with something new, it seems like your to-do list just keeps growing every day with new tasks, and that list can easily begin to overrun your life. Now, finding the right tool for that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything and can be such a game changer. And for millions of businesses, that is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started like nonsense. So get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything, from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. And if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. So turn your big business idea into cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/trash. That's shopify.com/trash. Shopify.com/trash. Back to the episode.
One thing I did learn from it was I actually really fucking enjoyed it. Even though I wrote like something that I would never write again, I enjoyed the process so much and I couldn't get this idea off my mind. And so the actual journey of this particular anime getting approved was fast forward 1 year. I did a interview with the author of Vinland Saga, and that was set up by Twin Engine. And me and Joey worked with Twin Engine at Anime Expo the year before, and they really liked working with us. And so I got invited to do an interview with the author of Vinland Saga. Great fucking experience. Super humble guy, amazing guy. But I was talking to some of the staff members and I just casually mentioned that one day it would be cool to make my own anime short film or something anime related, kind of like a dream of mine. And just by complete chance, one of the producers at Twin Engine was like listening in, and they were like, "Oh, you want us to make an anime?" And one thing I would say about Twin Engine is they are, unlike a lot of other Japanese companies, they seem very current, in the know. And very
on top of it all.
Yeah, very willing to try out new things. So if you don't know, Twin Engine were the production company who made obviously Vinland Saga Season 2. They made Hell's Paradise as well. Dororo as well. And they also made Shikanoko as well.
Okay.
And you can tell they are current.
It's a real variety.
Yeah, it's a real variety. And you can tell they're very current with their own marketing strategy, because Shikanoko became a massive fucking meme last year. So obviously someone there is very much doing their job. So out of pure chance, this producer comes in and they ask me if if I have an idea. And this time I'm like, yes, not only do I have an idea, but I also have a screenplay. I'm lying out my ass because there is no fucking way I'm submitting this screenplay.
You just have to, sometimes in life, there are these pivotal moments where you just need to be like, I feel like there's an opportunity here if I kind of bend the truth slightly.
Look, if our episode
if I can deliver.
If our episode with Alex Lee taught me anything, it's like sometimes you just gotta lie. at first, and then just like, you know what, I just got to lock in and
I mean, if you
fulfill
know
it.
you have the ability to do something, you honestly believe it, then like, yeah, sometimes it's okay to like kind of twist the truth.
Well,
slightly,
to be fair, this wasn't a lie. I said no lie. I do have an idea.
Yeah.
And I do have a screenplay.
Just not this screenplay.
right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the pieces are there, and you were like, you said,
Where's the lie?
And they were like, oh, you have a screenplay? Well, you can submit it, and we can have a look and review it. And I'm like, so this needs some revisions. It's not totally finished yet, but if you give me a deadline, I will be able to submit a new screenplay for you, a new revised screenplay. Just give me a deadline. And they're like, awesome. How does 3 months sound? That sounds very reasonable. And I don't think we can start talking to studios until about 3 months anyway. I'm like, that's amazing. Small problem. We were going on tour in Europe.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't believe Trash Taste cucked you not once, but twice.
We just had to go on tour once again. This time we're in Europe, and this time I was going to be out of commission again.
Oh my God.
So I was going to have to
I feel like you told us at this point too, and at this point it sounded like it's not really happening yet.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like,
yeah.
I mean, fuck, that'd be sick if it happens.
Yeah. I think I told. I think I told. This is when I actually started talking to the boys. Where I was like, I think I can actually do something to submit something for this cool project. May or may not ever get approved, but it was on my mind. But this time I did learn from my mistakes. Even though we were on tour and I was out of commission. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I didn't spend. There was a lot of times where I just went off to just spend time with myself, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just reading screenplays. I tried to do the same kind of like approach that I do with YouTube videos when I make like a genre or something that I'm unfamiliar with. I just try to consume as much.
Oh, of course.
As much of that material as possible. So in my spare time, I was just reading screenplays of like my favorite movies, of like genres similar to this one. I was just trying to consume as much as possible in my spare time. And so I felt a lot more prepared going into my second draft. I said I was going to do revisions. What I actually meant was I was going to scrap the story and rewrite it from scratch, which I did. The only thing I kept was this concept of traveling between two worlds and a basic story about coming home or the feeling of finding out where your home is. And so I just read screenplays. I started watching YouTube tutorials as well, trying to read as much, I tried to do as much prep work as I could do just to not repeat the same mistakes. And by this point, the deadline was the end of the year. So it was like basically December 31st was the deadline for this. And I had the entire Christmas break. And that year, I went out of my room once during the entire Christmas break. And it was Christmas Day. Sydney for like that 2-week period just did not see me because what I did was basically the fucking crazy writer trapped in his room. And I just started plotting out this story. Before writing a single word, I actually tried to plan out every single story beat, which is what you should do as a writer. It definitely helps a lot if you have the entire structure and you don't just fucking sit down and just write what you feel, which is what I did the first time.
You don't want to be making it up as you go along.
Yeah. And I kind of realized how fucking enjoyable this process is.
Hell yeah.
If you ever want to write a book or something or a fictional story, I'm just like, Joey, just go out and fucking do it. I haven't had this much fun working or writing on something in like my entire career.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm going to sell it to you, Connor. I'm going to sell it to you. All right?
Okay.
Writing, at least in the planning sense, writing, it's basically engineering.
You make the structure and then you...
Yeah, swear down. You are basically the architect of this story, right? And one thing I found super fucking gratifying and super fucking fun was, let's say you have a character, you have fucking Walter White, right? whatever, right? This is Breaking Bad now. You have
Okay.
Walter White. He starts off as a chemistry teacher, and he ends up as like a
You
drug
got to make
lord,
the bridge.
right?
Yeah.
How do you get character from point A to point B, right? Well, you start adding like little points in between, right? You start adding little points in between
Yeah.
to like kind of like plan out his journey, and you're like, okay, this kind of makes sense. So he does that, which leads to that, which leads to that, which leads to that. Problem is, this little thing that happens in his life, you know the character, and
would never do
actually,
this, yeah.
actually, if this thing's happened, then he's probably gonna go that way. In fact,
Right. I see. Yeah. So you're trying to think of the problem.
So in fact, you're like, okay, this thing happens. So actually, he's gonna go that way. Shit, but I need him to go that way. And so what you do is this is a roadmap. It's problem solving, right? So you start to like reverse engineer, right? So if he needs to go there, then I need to change something in his backstory here. You know, I need to change something here. And then you fiddle around with this, and you're like, okay. I change his backstory. He's something different that changes his values. Something
Tweaking
happened in
all
his
the
past.
dials, trying to get the pressure.
Okay,
to-
so now he goes from there to there, and then you realize, wait, changing this backstory, he's now there.
Right.
And you're
right,
like,
right.
fuck. All right, I need to add like another plot point before here, and then it's so much like fiddling around and problem solving.
So was it, to ask a basic question, was it like you had a place where you started and
Yeah.
you wanted to end up, and
Yes.
then everything else went around that?
Yes, exactly.
That's cool. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I think there is a part of me that would love to create a world or something, but at the same time, not right now. I think I'm just like too much going on.
yeah.
But if I was, a little older and had a bit more time, I think I would love to. That sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah, because
Not even to just publish, just to have
just
a
to
fun
do it.
challenge.
it's a fun challenge, because one thing I've really liked about screenplay writing, or this entire process, it's like, I think screenplay is great for writers. I'm going to call out every like screenplay writer now. It's great for writers who can't write, because it is all structure, and it is all structure basically. So I don't have to worry about how it reads as like, if I was publishing a fictional book or something.
Yeah, like how you describe a scenery or a scene or something. Yeah.
To me, this is like pure engineer writing. This happens, so this happens, so this happens, so this
Right.
happens, and you get to like be the architect of the entire story. And I didn't need to worry too much about, hey, does this description sound pretty? And then obviously, like, dialogue is, I'm simplifying things because shit like dialogue is like super important, and it's definitely a skill, but it's a form of like storytelling that I completely just ate up, because I fucking love this. And so I was in my room just doing this, because this is just like one character. So like you extrapolate that with like adding other characters' journey to this character's journey, and then it becomes like a whole web of like, my room was literally
Charlie
my
from,
room was literally just like a wall of post-it notes.
Yeah.
At one point,
Yeah.
like you see in like writers' room sometimes,
Yeah.
and I get it now. I get it, because that's what you need to do. And so after planning it all out, I finally was able to just sit down and just write it, and it made writing so much easier actually, just because I had the entire roadmap. So it's less of like I didn't know what I wanted to write, and more of like, okay, now I know exactly what happens. I just gotta take the shit in my brain and put it on paper, and that was basically it. And I finished the screenplay on December 31st.
Damn.
Right up until the end.
The full 3 months.
Yeah, and you had no idea the anxiety I went through, because I submitted it December 31st, but it's New Year's. So
I was going to say, that's an odd deadline to set, because they're not going to check it for like 5 days.
yeah, but I
But understandable.
Yeah,
They
I wanted to make a good impression.
You have until 2025.
Yes. I wanted to make a good impression, so
Of course.
I submitted it, and I had to wait during New Year's for it. And this was me knowing I wouldn't get a reply, but still secretly wanting to like tap refresh every time.
It's so hard to just step away sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
So invested in something.
Especially for a project like this where, YouTube, I'm fine. I'm so used to that shit that this is like something new. And so I'm just waiting around, refreshing. And then a week passes, 2 week passes, nothing. I was like, you win some, you lose some. And then I finally get the call in to go to a meeting. And they were like, yeah, we actually like the story and we'd be interested in adapting it. And that was surreal as fuck.
Hell yeah, dude. That's your dream. That's the sprout of your dream, just being like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, that was such a surreal fucking moment.
Hell yeah, dude.
And yeah, it still hasn't really fully hit me until just about now. Because now that I got approved, that's when the real work started. Because they introduced me to the studio who would be animating it, which is Studio Daisy. It's a studio under Twin Engine's umbrella because they have a lot of studios that they work with. And they introduced me to the staff members that would be working on it as well, which includes the director, which is Ohashi-san. I think it's Ohashi Yoshimitsu. Can you search that up, Kai? Who's a director who's been working in the industry for fucking years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Excel World.
Oh,
yeah. He's been in the industry for like 20 years or something. Maybe longer.
Brotherhood storyboard, Noragami storyboard, Haikyuu storyboard. Yeah, this guy's done
my
a
God.
lot of big shows.
So I've learned.
Damn, Zetsu no Tempest.
Yeah.
Bokurano?
Yeah, Bokurano.
What? Code Geass? Wait, this guy's been on everything. What the heck?
Sakura.
Yeah. When I saw that he was directing my anime, I was like, wait, this is happening?
Hell yeah,
this is real now. So yeah, Ohashi-san is directing my work, and the first thing he says to me is after looking at my script, he liked the story. I wanted to make like a 15-20 minute short film. The script I submitted was 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh, damn.
So,
okay.
Like the story, but we're going to have to trim things down.
Was there ever a conversation of being like, all right, we'll just double the episode time, or was that just out of the question?
So I'll be completely transparent and say this particular project is almost completely self-funded.
Damn.
Yeah. And I was like, there was a huge conversation where, and I still get this conversation where they asked me, how are you going to fund this? And I was like, I'll self-fund. It's being partially funded by Geeks Plus as well. They thankfully helped me, but most of it is myself. And animation is expensive.
Oh yeah.
As you know. And so Geeks Plus will pitch me ideas. They were like, okay, maybe we can, do something like Konosuke-thon where we can pitch it to sponsors and maybe we can do like some kind of product placement. And I was like,
that'd be so funny.
And I was like,
that will work.
This anime is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, I just don't know if that'll work.
Yeah, I was like,
the Cyclothon, luckily we got like 12 hours of runtime a day.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's the vibe where you're in an isekai world, and I'm like, and one of my characters is like, yo, what is this gamer subs? What is this earthly gamer subs that you're drinking right now? Yo, let me get a sip of that. Let me get a sip of that.
It's like Kono Bangumi wa Raid. Gamer subs.
Gamers. So basically, there is a reason, audience, why I took as many sponsors as I could for the last 2 years. It was to fund this one project. So thank you very much, Hoyoverse. I know Genshin fans are still waiting for the Hoyoverse anime, but Hoyoverse don't know it. But they have indirectly funded this anime.
They didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know. But basically, it was all the work that I did on my personal projects. I basically funneled everything into this one fucking dream passion project. Because the first meeting I had, and I still get this conversation, was a different conversation to the director. I have to talk to like producers and people at Twin Engine.
They must have been like, what the fuck? How?
Yeah. No. They were like, all right, this sounds like a great idea. So, what's the business plan? How are you making money from this? Is there anything we can help you with? And I was like,
that's the great part.
literally, I was like, that's the funny thing. I don't. I will be releasing merch. Thanks to Joey. Joey is the only way that I can help not being like the red. Not being like the red. Because of the cost of the animation production and just anime in general, I'm pretty set that I know that I'm probably not going to make my money back on this. Even, it's kind of like the AX booth kind of like deal where I just want to do something cool, and I'm going to be releasing merch. It's not completely finished yet, but it will be by the time the anime comes out.
We're making some dope stuff for it.
You are. I'm very, very excited, but I pretty much know that this project is going to be losing money for me, and I'm completely fine with that. Having to explain that to people, veterans of the industry, is like the face they make is. It never gets old because
you're doing what?
Yeah. Every time I talk to a new person, they're like, "Okay, so you're not making any money, so you have no business plan for this." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, where do you plan to release this?" I'm like, "On YouTube. I'm going to be releasing this on YouTube." And they're like, "Okay, are you going to be charging membership fee?" I'm like, "Nope,
for free."
I'm going to be releasing it for free. It's on my channel. That's it. That is the business plan. This is my dream project. I just want as many people to see this as possible.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what to say. And they're like, okay. And so originally the budget I had wasn't even for 15 to 20 minutes. It was for, I pitched the budget, and it was actually for a 10-minute animation. After talking to the producer at Studio Daisy.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, double it.
Double it, give it to the next person.
Double it, but also give it back to me. I got to take a few more sponsorships, but I think I can still double it. I think
Speed dial Hoyoverse. Like, we're gonna need double the sponsors, boys. Keep it rolling.
I'm like, Geeks Plus, can you give me more sponsorships, please? Because I was like, I tried, and the producer at Studio Daisy, Yoshihara-san, every time I talk to her, she's like, wait, I can just ask for more budget? Wait, and you're going to say yes? What? Wait, I can do that with this? Because I basically said, if there is anything you need to make the project higher quality, make the project to fit in the vision that I want it to be, please just ask me for an increased budget, and I will make it work.
Slam it down on the table.
Yeah, I will make it work.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo, this shit is unheard of.
Yeah, not legit.
So I'm so thankful for the go-to team that I had who basically helped me make this anime. I haven't even fucking talked about this anime. This is.
I mean, the story is so interesting.
Yeah,
the backstory is mad.
Because I am filming an entire documentary because I think the backstory, to me at least, is interesting at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it has humbled me so much just to be working with people in the industry, and there's me, anime YouTuber. I have an idea of the story, but I do not know as much as I should know for a person who is getting into this position. So they've helped me, give me so much advice, and Ohashi-san is such a wealth of knowledge in the industry. He'll just we'll just be chilling out, and he'll just drop this huge fucking lore of like some anime that he's worked on. But yeah, still after like increasing the budget 2 times, we still had like massive issues cutting basically half the story off.
Yeah.
Right. It still takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And we actually went behind schedule because we had weekly meetings that would go on for maybe 4 hours.
Goddamn.
Like for an entire month. and we got pushed back behind schedule because of these meetings and we're trying to figure it out. And Ohashi-san was like, so there's something we do in the anime industry when we're in like a writer's block or whatever. Sometimes we just take a retreat to like an onsen or something. And I was like, that's really cool. And he was like, we should go on a retreat. Let's run it back.
God's paying. Let's go.
Hey, let's just increase the budget. Let's go on a retreat. We'll figure this out in the onsen. We'll have a team retreat. Luckily, we figured out something, which I'll explain more.
Without needing an onsen?
Without needing an onsen. It actually is. It came to me in a dream. The ending of this show came to me in a dream. And sometimes, I don't know how my subconscious works, but when you're just immersed in something and you just can't stop thinking about it. I was just in bed after going through a lot of research, a lot of talking to my mum as well. And I just had this like the most vivid dream of my life. And I'm not someone who dreams, right? And it sounds like something from like a movie or something, but I just like woke up in a cold sweat. Sydney's like, honey, are you okay? And I was like, I've got it. And for once, I wrote it down, and the thing I wrote down mid-dream did not fucking suck.
It was banger.
It actually worked. But this was the stage, and I guess this is the time when I start talking about my anime a little bit more. I'm actually really thankful that we had to go through this entire process to rewrite everything because it gave me a little bit of time to do a bit more research. Initially, the isekai world was more typical to your Tolkien-esque fantasy, isekai world. Yeah. The main character was actually an elf.
Okay.
Because I like anime elves.
Who doesn't like elves?
I just like anime elves.
I mean, who doesn't like elves?
So if I was gonna make a character, okay. Actually, no, I forgot. There's one big change I made from like my first screenplay to my second screenplay because I was like, I feel like there's a missing ingredient from the first screenplay to the second screenplay.
Okay. Sister and brother related.
No. The big thing I added was like, it's missing a cute anime girl. That's why I didn't get greenlit. Not because the screenplay sucked. It's missing a cute anime girl.
Yeah.
And what do I like? What do I like? Anime elves. That's it. That's the main character. But thankfully, because of this process, I was like, actually, I want to completely pivot and do something different that I haven't personally seen, but I think would be pretty fucking cool. I want to make a world that revolves around Southeast Asian mythology, something that I haven't really seen before, something that I don't think has been really portrayed in anime. I don't think I've ever
seen it before
as often.
I can't think of one. At all. Yeah,
and I think after I suggested that, the team got really super excited. And I'm so fucking happy and I'm so fucking proud, but
I mean, there's probably a story that they'd be interested in, but wouldn't be able to tell themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Being able to have someone from Southeast Asia, I think, helps a lot.
So I'll just take you through the entire process of what it's like to create this world. So basically, I just got a bunch of I made a few mood boards. Some of this is Southeast Asia. Some of this is Chinese.
Yeah, I was going to say some of them that
the reason for that is because you go to Vietnam, for example, there's a lot more of a Chinese influence there,
especially up in the north.
Yeah. Exactly. So
neighbors.
even though it was mainly going to be Thai focused because that's what I'm most knowledgeable about. I wanted a flavor. I wanted a flavor of a little bit of everything that I could find online. I really like the aesthetics of these different runes as well, which we've integrated into the entire world building as well. Different aesthetic of towns and stuff and rivers and homes and stuff like that. Shout out to Indonesian homes. I really liked the aesthetic of some the Indonesian homes.
Indonesia mention, let's go.
And then did a bunch of research on like different monsters.
These like Southeast Asian yokai.
Yeah, like mythological creatures. And stuff like that. Anything that I could help build.
Dude. That's metal as fuck.
Yeah, so did as much research to different creatures and stuff like that. And the creature they really loved the design of was Ty. Can you type in the Thai Naga? So they really, really like this. So the Naga is this mythological creature that pretty much appears everywhere. But they really, really liked the feeling of the Thai version, which I was very happy about.
That's like he's got a sword for a head.
Yeah,
it's kind of sick.
Yeah,
Damn.
It's you can see versions of this. Like if you go to any Thai temple, you'll probably see some kind of like statue, something like this. So it's something that I am very, very familiar with aesthetically. In Thailand, we call it Payanak, so we don't call it the Naga. And it's like, it's a big part of the Thai culture in general. Like I said, you go to any temples, you will probably see some kind of statue of this around. It is meant to be this mythological creature that basically lives in the river and controls like the flow of water. So we blame it for, anytime there's like excess rain or shit like that, we're like, fucking probably pissed off the
Naga.
Pissed off the Naga. So they were like, okay, we want to add this creature to the world.
Yeah.
And the only instructions I gave them was, what I wanted to make sure was that this wasn't necessarily based on one singular country. I just wanted the feel of it. So something that takes inspiration, but I don't want a one-to-one kind of like, I don't want this specifically to be the Payanak, I want it to be inspired from it. But if you're going to make anything, make it your own design and make it something that audiences can tell is inspired from the stuff without actually completely
just doing
just taking
one-to-one.
the idea.
Just taking the idea.
I wonder, they're pretty cooked now.
Yeah, and they came back to me with a design.
Yeah, so my first introduction to any visuals from this anime was Garnt showing me this Naga design from the anime.
Yeah.
And immediately when I saw it, because at this point, we had already agreed that, we were going to help you make merch for this anime.
Yeah.
And immediately, the moment I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I have so many ideas for this. This looks so sick.
Yeah, I remember you showing us this.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this shit goes hard.
They showed me this and I was like, holy shit. Because my pitch for this, because with the Payanak, it's like there are some really, really scary designs out there, and some of the early designs of this that we made were definitely very, very like scary, intimidating. But I want to do something different. I wanted the Payanak to kind of like be a part of the world, but also have a relationship with its inhabitants there, not necessarily as a supreme godlike being,
like the big bad monster of the world, or
like the big bad monster of the world. But definitely, I wanted it to be top of the food chain.
Yeah, right.
And goddamn, is this not top of the food chain?
I mean, what's going to take it down? Right?
This is the top of the drip chain, bro. Like, this boy looks good.
Yeah, and they came back to me with this, and I was like,
so cool.
I was like, holy shit, this. I mean, I'm obviously biased because I'm Thai, and seeing something like this, which is my exact instructions was make it intimidating without making it too oppressive or scary, and they somehow took that and made it into just the perfect energy that I wanted to convey. My second thought when looking at this was, I'm kind of shitting myself. How the fuck are we going to animate this?
Yeah.
That does look like a challenge.
Look, I look at this and the Fate Stay Night 3D dragon just pops into my head. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is going to be
The crowd of 3D people just like
yeah,
bumped
yeah,
his head.
yeah. Every isekai with a 3D dragon just like rushes to my brain. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, this looks so cool on paper. But I'm absolutely fucking terrified. I'm absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
But I approve the design because of course I do. And I do ask them beforehand, are you happy with me approving this design? Because you are the ones that are going to have to draw it and bring it to life. And the I didn't really get a yes. You know, I didn't really get a concrete answer.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it might be tough.
What if they were like, we were hoping you'd say no.
They're like,
Well, 3D.
yes. I think the producer looks at the director looks at the producer, and it's like, so desu ne. 頑張ります.
That's when you know shit is tough.
Yeah, that is the most reluctant yes a Japanese man can give you. It's just like, all right,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's give it a crack.
Yeah, they gave it a crack, but
Yeah, Genbarimasu in Japanese is literally just like, yeah, it's not going to work, but we'll try.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best, but yeah, so they come up with like the world design as well, which, you know, because here's the thing about building a world. I've never built a world before, but as soon as we added this creature, it was almost like the world started forming around this creature.
Well, yeah, where would the creature live?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
What would
yeah.
it look like?
So one thing, I'm sorry if I'm
No, dude, this is
No,
interesting,
listen,
bro.
I think everyone wants to know.
I'm sorry if I'm saying this in spurts because it's like different things coming at different times. So one of the big issues when I said I want to make an isekai was Ohashi-san basically broke it down for me. He's like, in most isekai, the first episode, the first 20 minutes is pure world building, pure exposition. You want to build a world and also tell a story within 20 minutes. Normally you can have one or the other, but the big challenge that we had to do was, how do we build up this world without, you know, I don't know how many isekai you've seen, but normally like the first 5 minutes is like, all right, here's the expedition dump of the world, the mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the kingdom, here's the magic, here's the everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's try to tell as much of the story of the world visually as we can, because I actually have faith in my audience, or just in just an audience in general, to pick up on subtle cues. So when making the world, I was like, try to make it so there is as much environmental storytelling as you can, so people can infer on what this kind of world is like, what the vibe is like. It's more of like a vibe test and a vibe check, where we created this whole culture, we created this whole kind of like relationship with the inhabitants of this world, which is called Euthania, which is just has no meaning. It's just a word I made up, and I googled it, and no one had used that word before. But we had this creature, and we're like, okay, this is going to be. We want this creature to have a big presence, and the world kind of started forming around the creature. So they came up with this concept art. And what do you think you can infer from these two drawings? What kind of world do you think this is?
All right. Well, man, this is pressure on us now.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
Well, I look at that and think like, okay, well, there is, you know, clearly a central kingdom or central, you know, town, I guess, in a rather desolate world. I would like to think, where most people will either come to there or, you know, mainly focus on their activities there.
Okay.
And then the giant pillar in the middle, I would assume, has some kind of maybe spiritual or religious symbolism
I was gonna say,
to it.
it looks like kind of like a Mecca kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's some kind of ancient artifact they built a city around.
Yeah.
They were like, this is symbolic.
Or like, you know, we have to protect
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And that probably explains like the giant sheet that's around it as well.
I'm so fucking proud.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm so happy as well. I'm so happy that you guys were able to infer all of that.
God, it was like doing an English test.
Yeah.
It's like write an essay.
because I didn't have to explain that because that means that from my screenplay, I can save out the exposition that there is this kind of like religious relationship between the inhabitants and the thing in the middle, which when the Naga flies out of it, you're probably going to infer that this is the Naga's nest in the middle. Since it's kind of like, since it is assumed. And with the things around it, you're like, okay, there's probably something religious going on. They have, they're working with it. Like you said, they're protecting it as opposed to like being scared of it.
Yeah.
And it's like little things like this where so many little things that we have to think about visually, where as someone who watches a lot of isekai, I wanted as little exposition and explaining as I possibly could in this. And instead, I just wanted the audience just to feel the vibe of the world. And you don't need to know every little thing about what the culture is like, what's going on inside the city. We know that because we created the world, but we wanted you to just like vibe check the world and be like, okay, I feel like this happens in this world and that happens in that world.
Like as long as you're not completely clueless, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And that makes me happy because that means something's gone right.
Well, yeah, I mean the design just makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I got to show you this one as well because they didn't just make the adult design as well.
Yeah.
They went full ham with this. And they made the entire life cycle.
Oh,
and
look at the little baby.
Look at a cute marketable plushie.
It is a cute marketable plushie.
But yeah, they made an entire life cycle of this thing, and it is going to appear on screen for like maybe 2 or 3 cuts.
Right.
But I look at some of this. I look at these guys, and I'm like,
so cute.
And I'm like, goddamn.
No,
goddamn!
But I think that's fine, right? Because it's like, just like by showing it, even for like a tiny little bit, it just like, I feel like it's not necessary. Like people who are going to watch this are not going to be like, well, I need to know exactly how it's going to evolve and everything like that. I feel it's just good to show it a little bit to be like, this is where it actually comes from.
Yeah.
And then that also just adds a little extra information to the backstory, which they can use to infer to, or, if they don't want to, then that's fine. It's just like kind of there, right? So
yeah,
I think it's good, definitely good to have this as an addition.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, remember when we learned about how like Trigon Stampede was made, and they said that they had 2 years in pre-production, just pure world building and the history of this world of Trigon Stampede before they even started any work on the actual project. And I'm like, I truly fucking get this now because we spent so much time building like the literal intricacies of this world that makes sense for us, but we will never, it's not going to be spelled out in the anime at all. Like I said, it's all to make just a consistent vibe and a consistent logic of the world that makes sense, even though we're not specifically explaining it. It's important for everyone on the team to understand what is going on and how this world works and what is the smaller details between everything. And it really made me appreciate anyone who has made a fictional world at all, because it reminded me of this one interview with do you remember the anime series Aoya Only Speaks in Russian or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Because I remember I saw I read an article where originally that was meant to be set in a fantasy world where the characters couldn't understand each other because it was like a different language. And then the author realized, wait, people speak different languages on Earth. I don't want to make a fantasy world. That sounds like...
I'd rather just
like,
feel
are you
language.
telling me there are people who don't speak Japanese out there? What the fuck?
I mean, that's how it must
No
feel
way.
right?
No fucking way. So I truly understand it now because goddamn, it takes so much effort to build a world, which is why now I understand why most people go with the structure of like what they're familiar with. They take a fantasy
Just use the
world or
language
just
there
like
as well.
JRPG world, and they're like, okay, let's use this as the basis. Because doing something completely new just takes so much effort.
Yeah, especially for it to make sense as well.
Yeah. And eventually, I changed my mind, and we're like, okay, we should probably not make the girl an elf girl. There are elves, as I found out. There are elves, as I found out.
I've lost all interest.
There are elves in Southeast Asian mythology, as I found out, but they are so... I think I found a folklore where there is something that resembles elves that comes from Malaysia. And I asked Nabi about it, and he had no idea about it. So I was like, okay, this is probably like a really like
super niche.
like super niche thing. So probably going to have to pivot. And so the main race changed from like elves to something a bit closer to home as well. There are other statues in Thailand that you see that are sometimes like half bird, half human creatures. And I thought, okay, this seems if we're going with the whole Thai theme, let's stick to that for this one. And so the main race is based around the can you search up Kinara or Kinari?
Kinara.
Yes. So these are also some statues that you can find
that's cool.
around.
Cool.
And so they're kind of like based on these creatures. Initially, I wanted them to have like fully physical like wings. Fully physical wings and, with body parts that resemble birds. But the director did have one request, which was to... And when I'm pitching this stuff, I'm glad the director's there because he can kind of like ground me to be like, this is really going to be hard to convey in animation.
A lot of movement.
Yes. And so the one request he had was, can it be a little bit more humanoid and can we make the wings magic? Because that way I don't, you
doesn't
think
have to
about
be
it.
there the whole time.
Yeah. Think about it. It doesn't have to be there the whole time, and you don't have to worry about size as much and color as well. So it would have just, and he had enough fucking thing on his plate with the.
He was already sweating with the
Naga.
Naga.
With the Naga.
Well, we greenlit the Naga. I did not realize what I was signing up to.
It's like, how many
Can
of
we
your
chill on the other shit?
How many of your characters are gonna fly, dog?
Like, please
Put them on the ground.
Do they got legs or not? No, just decide.
we are already a month behind schedule. And I'm like, okay. I understand.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So we ended up deciding on that kind of character designs, and let me show you some of the characters.
Yeah, please.
I guess.
So did you go into this kind of knowing all the characters, or were there some added or some kind of fleshed out as you went along? How was that process of getting all the characters?
That's a great question.
It's
weird because I'm normally the one asking it to other creators. That's a great question. Let me answer you honestly and say that we had the main characters planned out. I obviously had their storylines planned out. And as we were reworking the script, it's more like we added characters or took away characters as we needed to, just to tell the story that we wanted to tell. And I would say that it's like, it is, I haven't even said how long this thing is. It's going to be a short film. So it's not like a full length feature. Sorry, distracted.
Sorry.
Like, Garnt, the anime studio's on fire.
So it's not like fucking Attack. It's not Attack on Titan or something. There's not too many characters. I wanted the main focus to be on 2 characters, and initially, both characters would get an equal amount of screen time because that's how I wrote the screenplay that I pitched. But because we needed to cut half of it down, we had to make an important decision on which character do we focus on. And I chose the female character.
Correct answer.
Just because I think her character is probably more relatable
Right.
Wink, wink. Relatable. But I did write it that way, that I think her character is going to be a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, I remember you showing me this.
Yeah. She's so cute.
So that's my girl. And I remember seeing this. How this worked was I didn't know what character designer I wanted. So they actually sent me a few character designs, which I'm not sure 100% I can show here, but you will get to see them in the documentary that I'm filming. But this is based on the design I chose. And the reason I chose this was just because I saw the her outfit and I'm like,
it's so cute.
They've done an amazing job with this. And I think that they've made it like anyone Thai would know, that would get the feeling that this is definitely inspired by like Thai outfits or Thai get-ups. Awesome. For me at least. And I was like, oh, I love this. I love everything about this. One major challenge that we went through when designing this character, and something that I learned as well. How old does she look? And you can be honest.
Which one?
The
adult one?
This one.
Yeah, the adult one.
Like 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say 16, maybe 17.
All right. She's 19.
Okay.
I
And
can see that.
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
One big problem, or not problem, one big challenge that I've realized, which is why it kind of put into perspective how fucking toxic this anime character is this age, this anime character is that age. It is, you can have a character age in mind. It is so hard to
make them look
draw something that makes them look the exact age that you want them to look.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with like humans in real life.
Literally, people,
like 16-year-olds and 19-year-olds sometimes look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise looks like 30. It's fucked up. Like, I mean, Araki looks like 30.
Yeah, none of us look our age. Like, we get different ages all the time.
I look like I'm 4 days away from dying. It's just like, it's this whole pursuit of having to make the character look the exact age that you think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not realistic.
Because he was like the first design that it was based off of, right? He was like the very, very first design. And I love this design, right? But there was a few things about her characteristics that I wanted to convey. So Rin is, how can I say? I gave her a little bit of Sydney's energy. And naivety when Sydney just moved to England. And I gave her my insecurities. So me and Sydney both call her our daughter.
Yeah, it's basically your child.
Yeah, basically our child at this point, because she has a little bit of both mum and dad in her characteristics,
right,
without being exactly either one of us. But this was her original design. And I looked at this and I loved the, Thai style inspired clothing and stuff like that. And I loved the expression because I was like, oh, she seems someone who is, Genki, but
very bubbly.
Yeah, very, very bubbly, has Sydney's energy, like I said. But I was like, oh, she looks a little bit too mature for the character that I was trying to convey. She has this little bit of an One-san energy, I would say, to this.
Might be the ponytail.
Yeah. And I was like, I think I want, if I look at that, I think, I was like, oh, that's like 25, 26.
Yeah, early 20s.
Yeah, I was
that's
like,
how anime, they make moms. Just give them a ponytail.
It is the mom ponytail,
yeah,
you're right.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's use this design as a base. Let's adjust it a bit.
Yeah.
Give her a little bit more naivety, because the entire storyline is about her being a Euthanian traveling to Earth and trying to start a life there. And I took a lot of inspiration from Sydney's journey. And not only that, when writing the screenplay, I basically had this 2-hour long call with Mei Lin as well. So I know, because I wanted it to be based on real people and real experiences. And so I just asked the people I know who moved to a different country when they were, at that tail end of adulthood, teenager and just starting adulthood. That's what her story is based around. And I was like, she looks too mature. Let's give her a bit more naivety. Let's give her a bit more innocence. And so that's how we came up with the final character design, or the designs that we ended up going with. So this is like her final coloring and everything like that.
Okay.
So that's the entire evolution
I
of
see
her
what you mean about the
design.
magic wings.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Now that I see it visually, I'm like, oh, the magic wings look so good.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, he had a vision and he executed on that vision. And you know, I look at that and I'm like, okay, like I said, it's very, very hard to tell the age of anime characters. And and they told me that it is more, aside from like the baseline of this, it's actually more based around the voice type that they have.
Yeah.
That you choose for them, and also what kind of clothes they wear.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know that's similar in real life a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I guess this is like, it was super interesting to be on the other side, where I know what some toxic anime fans to be like sometimes. And I didn't want to fall into that trap of just like, here's an adult.
Yeah.
And the internet be like, but you've designed a child.
Yeah.
And then being on the other side, I now realize the importance of there are some things that are more important than what age you think this character is.
Yeah, it's such a stupid debate.
Yeah. Because for me, my biggest priority was in the character design was, does it represent the character that I'm writing, as opposed to what age they are?
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
And that's why it feels like a kind of like a juvenile debate online.
Yeah.
It's like, well, technically, and it's like, what do you think they worried about this? Like, they did not think about this.
Exactly.
This is
No.
a concern. Why do you think about it more than them?
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm sure many authors and many artists are more concerned about conveying the character that they and their personality.
I mean, there's just a narrative they want to push. So it's just
So this is the design, final design, and you guys have seen this design, correct?
Yes. Well, I haven't seen this exact screenshot.
no, I've not seen this one. No,
But you
Right.
did show me the sketches.
yeah,
yes.
the sketches I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's my daughter. She's
Just so cute.
Congrats. I
love her
She's
hair.
very cute.
yeah. And I
do
can't
like
wait.
that.
I can't wait to see her animated.
Yeah.
Because this entire process has been fucking magical. Just to see there's this one moment where that I wanted to explain that I didn't think was going to happen. It wasn't even seeing the character designs. So initially, there are two main characters in my story. One is named Rin, and one is named Dai. How did I come up with Dai? I was looking for a 3-letter name, so it would be easy to type in the screenplay. So I just searched up a name generator,
Yep.
and I saw that one of the names was Dai, which apparently, according to the name generator, had Welsh origins, which I then asked Connor about.
Yeah, I was like,
And then Connor was like, yeah, I never heard of it. I was like, okay.
I mean, it sounds like a shortened thing for
Yeah.
other names. So maybe that's where it came
Well,
from.
Dai is also a Japanese name.
And it is also a Japanese name,
Yeah.
right?
This just means two in Welsh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It means
Yeah.
big in Japanese.
Yeah. But I can see it. Probably like a shortened version of other stuff.
Yeah. And I chose to name the female character Rin, because I was also looking for another 3-letter name.
And because you love Tosakanin, right?
How the fuck did you know that?
Of course.
How the fuck did you know
How
that?
long do you think I've been your friend, Garnt? The moment you showed me the Rin and I saw the name Rin, I was just like, oh, this motherfucker wanted to put some fate in here, didn't he?
God damn.
Motherfucker. I knew.
Yes, okay. I chose Rin because I
needed
liked
some
Rin
remnant
Tosaka.
of your life
okay,
in there
but they
somewhere.
were meant to be placeholder names, okay?
Sure.
They were meant to be placeholder names.
Yeah.
And you got attached.
And they were placeholder names. They were just 3-letter names. But during the script writing process, because we'd been referring to them as Rin and Dai for so long, we got attached to the names. So even though we'd always had the intention of renaming them to have given them like proper full names, we wanted to, at that time we were so attached to these names that it felt wrong naming them anything else but that. Super fucking weird, because when I started writing them, I wasn't attached to these names at all. And by the end, the last thing we did before moving on full anime production was finalizing their names. And after a long meeting, we decided on Dai would turn into Daichi, Arai Daichi, and Rin. Since this had like a Thai flavor to it, I wanted to give her a Thai name. So her name is actually Rinrada Rachmani.
Okay.
Which
That's long.
that is long. That is long. It's a combination of my mum and dad's family names.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
sweet.
Hell yeah.
And it was so weird. We had this long meeting where we were like, all right, these are the final names, right? And then I don't know what happened, but it suddenly felt like they just became real people, you know?
You could see it. You could
Yeah,
see
yeah,
their
yeah. Like
personality.
everyone in the room was like, oh shit. Oh, this is real. This is real.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
because we understood the characters. We had talked so much about what the characters' backstory is, what their drives are, and everything. And then after we named them, there was this moment where we had this like big tangent discussion on Daichi's character. Because his name is Arai Daichi, they were like, oh, that means that he, in Japanese schools, he'd probably be standing at the front of assembly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, because his name's Ah. And then they were like, oh, so because he's standing at the front, he'd probably like stand like a certain pose like this or like confident because he doesn't want to get, scolded by the teacher and stuff.
Yeah,
so he probably
yeah.
wouldn't slouch. And just by naming them, so much of their character just came out organically in a way that I'd never thought about it before.
Yeah.
And it was like such a weird, magical moment for me just to be like, shit. I thought the names didn't mean shit. I thought I'm just going to put a placeholder name and it doesn't matter because I'm going to tell the story. And then as soon as this happened, I was like, fuck, there's so many aspects of the character that have come out, little details that don't have anything to do with the story, but have like completed them as a person.
It's like the Nishio Ishin method, right? Where like he gives his characters like these insane names and then basically builds the personality all around that name because all of his names are just puns for shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. So like I'm pretty sure I saw it in an interview like that's how he writes.
Real life too. If your surname's like Baker, you're more likely to be a baker. I imagine that's true for characters that we are also making.
Do you feel like, have you ever met a person where you meet someone, you feel their energy, and they say the name, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're definitely an X."
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Of course.
I'm like, it made me think of this. I'm like, how much do you think names shape our personality?
Everyone has
I
that
think
like
names
one
do
name.
help shape you as a person.
Yeah. Everyone has that one name in their life where there's more than one occasion where you're like, oh yeah, you look like a Craig.
Yeah.
It's like, or you look like a James. you know?
Because I'm like, when our parents named us, I don't know how much thought. I mean, your parents.
No thought.
Easiest fucking choice of
Shall
all
we?
time.
Yeah. It's like, I'll name him after me because I'm the goat.
Me, I'm just like, damn, okay. I have, my son is probably never going to meet another Garnt in this country that, he's raised in. That is probably subconsciously shaped some part of my personality.
Oh, for sure.
It's like along the way.
100%.
And I didn't realize this until this, where you name someone and then you're like, shit, that changes their personality just that little bit because their experiences are going to change just that little bit. And yeah, fucking great experience. And
hell yeah.
From there on, it was just honestly lock in, get the anime made.
Yeah.
We'd got the character designs, we had gotten the storylines, the world, and everything. And so from here on, it was just not so many interesting things to say. It was just a lot of meetings and a lot of micro decisions.
Yeah, like making sure
made.
stuff's going right.
Like, I definitely had a lot of stuff where, I would like to say that I had a vision and they executed perfectly. But what I'm very glad for is whenever they push back. So it's not like everything was smooth sailing. There was times when we had differing opinions. Like, for example, Rin's hair color. One thing I wanted was I wanted this to have a natural feel. I didn't want this to have so much of a typical isekai fantasy feel. I wanted this story to feel grounded because it is a grounded story based on my experiences or my friends' experiences. So initially I was like, I feel like she would need to have darkish hair, black hair, dark brown hair, which is like the initial drawing.
Not
and
like a bright green or a
yeah,
pink or
yeah.
anything like
And
that,
they came to me with this coloring, with 2 colorings, which I only have one of them, but they came to me with basically the color that you saw, which is this color.
Yeah.
And I was like, my first impression was, I was like, I feel like it's too bright. It looks a little bit too anime. And they were like, we understand. We hear you. We hear you.
We hear what you're saying.
We hear you. And we will listen to you because you are the one, you are the...
It's your work.
It's your work. We will listen to you. But we highly, highly recommend that you choose a color that stands out a little bit more from the crowd. Anything too dark is going to blend in with the other characters and the background as well. And she, as the protagonist, is just going to stand out a little bit less.
Yeah.
And I had this moment where we were in the meeting room and I was like, I still want her to look natural. And then I heard the director say his opinion. He's like, I feel with the other color, I really like the other color and the energy that it brings her, but I feel like this would look better for her as a main character. Go to the colorist, say the same thing. The producer says the same thing. It was the first time I had an opinion that was a gut feeling, and everyone around me was telling me my gut feeling was wrong.
Right.
And now that I've seen the final animation, I am so fucking happy that I listened to everyone else and didn't go with my
They
immediate.
wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah, exactly. Because they made the right choice. Because with the hair color I picked, she wouldn't have looked like, a main character, a protagonist energy. Sometimes there's the meme of just like spot the main character.
Yeah.
Sometimes the main characters are the main characters for a reason because they need to stand out.
Absolutely. Yeah,
exactly. I feel like the color they chose was still like on the natural side of things, especially with like the final composition.
It looks great.
Especially with the final composition, but still like enough to stand out from the crowd.
I think also like when you see the clothes that she wears as well, it just makes a lot of sense to have that color.
Especially with some of the clothes she wears, it really like complements it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, this is my sorry. I'm just fanboying.
The winter coat.
I like the winter coat.
Yeah,
I like the oversized jacket.
Cute.
Okay,
Yeah, that's cute.
It's cute.
I like the oversized jacket. But yeah, there were like so many little micro decisions like that I had to make, and you think something like that would be an easy kind of like 5-minute thing, and you extrapolate that for music, for the animation, for the coloring, for every little detail that needs to exist in this anime, and it takes up so much fucking time. From what she would wear to what the aesthetics of like each different character is, and yeah, it's taken a lot of work, and it's getting to this point where I'm shitting myself. As I said, I'm super nervous, and it's almost finished. It's almost ready. So the final name of the anime is called Baan, Otona no Kyokai, which basically translates to the Japanese side is like the boundary of adulthood.
Yeah.
But the baan aspect, it's this project has gone through a lot of names, which I won't bore you with, but baan just means home in Thai.
Okay.
And we had like a fucking list of names, and everyone gravitated towards that one word, and that was the only Thai name in there. I just threw it in, just to see if the director would gravitate towards any name, and that was like the name that they really liked.
It's also easy to pronounce in Japanese as well. So
yeah. Exactly. The last thing I want to show you guys is, I guess, I talked about my nervousness with how the Naga Payanak would look.
Yeah.
So I want to show you guys a little bit of the final clip, because they have used 3D to help. So a big conversation I had was, I know how anime fans are like, and I know how I'm like. If I see 3D that stands out too much, then I want to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, of course.
And I think they've done a bang up fucking job.
I mean, that's a good thing, right? You can just be like, yeah, nah, I don't think this works.
Yeah, because the director has worked on Code Geass, especially some of the later seasons where the CG was I think really, really good. And I think that experience has allowed us to specifically choose when we're going to show 3D and when we're going to show 2D. And I had this moment watching this clip where I'm like, holy shit, those crazy son of a bitches. They've done it.
Okay.
They've done it.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm down.
This is one
I've
of the
not seen anything.
I haven't seen anything either.
This is like my first time seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Kevin Penkin's doing the music.
Yeah, I figured we'd talk about that at some point.
All right.
Kevin Penkin is-
I guess we'll talk about that afterwards. After I show you guys this clip.
All right, show us. That guy looks so cool. It looks good.
It looks so good. Oh, it looks so good. Yeah, that little
that
movement
3D
there.
there was perfect.
Yeah. It's like you can tell it's 3D, but it's not like 3D,
Yeah.
you know?
And I mean, this car was like 2D, and I just.
Oh, that's 2D?
Well, yeah, I figured that was 2D.
Yeah.
Oh,
that-
I thought it was like slightly 3D.
So-
No, the outer shot.
So
right?
the outer
Yeah.
shot was slightly 3D,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
you go into the close-up shot, and it's 2D, and I'm just like, this. Holy shit! They got the they
did a really
got
fucking
the
good
detail
job.
down. I'm like, oh my god! I'm so fucking happy. You have no idea how much I was shitting myself because I was ready to like possibly get clowned on to be like,
Nah. Knowing you, if they came back to you with like an actual like full 3D where it was like really jarring, I'm sure there was a part of you that would have been like, double the budget.
No, I know you. I feel like you would just be like, we just got to not.
Yeah,
do this.
you know better than anyone, I think.
Yeah. And, it's something where I've really, really trusted the team. And I know the pitfalls. Like, one thing I said, which I think helped them, hopefully, was I don't want you to treat this as a normal anime production. Even though there is a basic deadline, if you do not meet it, then you can tell me and we will work around that.
Yeah.
And also, if you need more budgets, just tell me and we can work around that.
We'll see.
And I think that's the first time they've ever heard those two sentences in their lives on any anime production.
Yeah.
Their brains are just like short circuiting, just be like, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean?
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
and,
dude.
the final thing I guess I want to say is, of course, Kevin Penkin is doing the music.
Of course.
Who else were you going to ask?
Yeah, I think at least you were there, Joey, when I asked him or pitched the idea to him. Because initially they wanted to go with their own composer, and Kevin, I basically said, I know a guy. Don't worry.
They were like, you know that guy?
Don't worry, I know a guy. And obviously I hit up Kevin, and he is busy as fuck.
Yeah, oh my God.
Like he's such a good fucking mate, man.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I pitched him the idea, he was like, mate, you don't even need to finish the sentence.
Yeah, he didn't even think twice.
I am going to do it. And he's currently composing this, working on like 5 other different projects or something.
What a go.
Yeah, I remember
fucking go.
going into meetings with him, and he's like, yeah, just working on this with Apothecary Diaries, like some Apothecary Diaries. I'm like, you're working on this with Apothecary Diaries? What?
Damn. That's so badass.
That's why he's
man.
the guy.
so fucking cool.
Yeah, but we will have another episode with Kevin on it where we can talk about go a little bit more in depth with the music aspect of this anime. But yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Dude, I'm so
that's-
fucking happy for you, man.
Wait, what about the voice acting? The Japanese voice acting? How was that?
Oh my God, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I was like,
Thank you for-
I
okay.
wanted to hear about
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Okay,
that's-
how much time do we have? All right, we got time.
Mate,
We got time.
Go for it.
All right, so I'm not going to be able to show too much of the behind the scenes of the
No,
voice
I know.
acting.
I know they're very strict.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember they wouldn't even like let me say hi Or
Yeah.
like have a casual conversation without them like watching.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Agents in Japan don't fuck around, is what I learned.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Everything has to go through the agent.
Of course.
Everything.
So we basically worked with a voice. I basically left the voice acting aspect to them. And we worked with a voice director or sound director who I believe works on Gurren Lagann.
Goddamn. You got a fucking all-star cast on this shit.
God
I mean,
damn.
it's weird. You kind of realize now working on this project, everyone has worked on something.
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just happy that I got like a full, Japanese. Like this is, this isn't like, I wouldn't even say this is close to a Japanese production. This is
a Japanese
production. Like a Japanese anime production in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Except for me. I'm the only other factor in this.
Yeah.
Everything aside from that is as normal a Japanese production as can possibly be. So we had auditions for for all the characters, or at least the main characters, and unfortunately I can't show any of the auditions or that entire process. But I went into this with the approach that I am not going to look at any of the names. All I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to each audition I get, and I'm going to pick the best voice for each character. And then, so I did that, chose the characters, and then I looked at some of the names that auditioned, and I'm like, nope. Because there I was surprised with some of the roles. Some of these voice actors had voice acted in, because there were some big roles in some of these auditions.
Right.
But
if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
But
right?
if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. And I didn't.
It's a good decision. You'd probably get clouded by seeing who
Yeah,
auditioned.
exactly.
Like, oh my God, they auditioned.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like so happy with the voice cast that I got, because everyone's goated. Everyone's super talented. So the voice actress for Rin is actually fairly new, and I think I got. I'm gonna say this right now, behind the scenes. I got fucking lucky to get her. I have a feeling that she's going to blow up in like a year or two, because she is way too fucking talented, way too good, and has such a unique aspect to her voice, where she has this mix where I was looking for someone that sounded natural but still had the energy of like an anime character without it sounding like too anime-esque, and she has like this perfect blend where she just sounds like a girl, but she had the energy I was looking for. So her name is Mikawa Haruna. What she was known best for before this, I believe, when I cast her, the only real role I recognized was Sung Jin Woo's sister from Solo Leveling.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's cool.
But since I've cast her, she has had 2 main roles in this current season.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm like, damn, I think I got her at a good time. She
Yeah.
is one of the main characters in Mono, which is an anime from the same mangaka as Yuru Camp.
Okay.
And also,
忍者と殺し屋の二人暮らし. Oh wait, she played Pokemon? She played Pikachu?
oh yeah, I guess she did play.
OVA.
Yeah, she played
Yeah.
Pikachu in an OVA.
Yeah.
And she's had a few supporting roles as well. Oh, here we go. Yes. In
Yeah, 忍者と殺し屋の二人
yeah,
暮らし.
this is the Shaft anime airing this season. And she's the
cool.
main character of this.
Oh,
and
that's
as
awesome.
soon as I saw her like get some main roles, I was like, fuck, I knew it.
Yeah, you got it.
I knew it. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. That's so sick.
Yeah. And she does a great fucking job. Daichi's voice actor is voiced by Ishiki Shoya. And he
Oh, he's fucking Gojo.
yes.
What?
No, not Jujutsu Kaisen Gojo.
No, not that Gojo.
I was like, what the fuck?
Sorry. My dress up darling Gojo.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck?
He is Gojo in My Dress
Every
Up
JJK
Darling.
fan was like,
He is Gojo in My Dress Up Darling. And I didn't know this at the time when I cast him because, like I said, I didn't look at names.
Yeah.
I fucking burst out laughing.
Of course you chose him.
Because of course I chose him because the main character is based, the Daiji is based on a lot of my personal experiences.
Right.
Fair enough.
My much more reserved personality compared to Rin's personality. And I was like, of course.
That makes sense.
Of course. Of course.
So you cast well.
Of course
You
I
cast
cast
well.
fucking Gojo from My Dress Up Darling. But yeah, he is a fucking veteran of the industry.
I mean, yeah, he's a
and
great voice actor.
He is a great voice actor. I don't really need to big him up. His work speaks for itself.
He's in everything.
Yeah, he's
Oh my lord.
in so much. And I didn't know that he was also going to be in Orb as well.
Sorry.
It has been 0 days.
It has been 0
I had to
days.
do it.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
that was like the casting process. I mean, there wasn't too much to the casting process. My basic approach to them was I wanted a voice that sounded natural, not too anime. Something that I told the director, it doesn't even matter if they have been in a lot of anime. What I want is just a natural sounding voice. We could almost use drama actors. But these two perfectly encapsulated the NG I was going for. And so I just came back from the voice acting session, I think 2 days ago. Was it 2 days? Like 1 or 2 days ago. And I thought it would be something more similar to the American dubbing process, where each voice actor goes line by line and records it one at a time.
Yeah.
And what I wasn't expecting was to go to this voice acting recording, open the door, and see 12 people just in there.
Everyone's there.
Just everyone there.
They do it all at once.
Yeah.
It's such a better way.
And the recording process was I go to the sound recording booth and they just play the anime. And they just act it out like it's a theater play or something like that. It was super, super fucking surreal. And you're going to be able to see footage of it in the documentary that I filmed.
It's such a better way to act, man. It's like you
Because you can bounce off one another.
Yeah,
right?
obviously the reason why people are like, why doesn't everything do it? Well, because if you're a big name or you are expensive, paying you for more hours to be there to watch someone else do their lines adds up.
Yeah.
So does it normally cut costs? They record lines individually. Because I can do if I had 200 lines, I could do that in 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing my 200 lines and someone else is doing their 100 lines and we're all kind of going through it, yes, you'd get a better performance.
Yeah.
But it might be costing
Cost
double.
more money, right?
So it makes sense why it doesn't happen. But I do like that they still do it in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, yes, it costs more budget.
I imagine it wasn't cheap, Garnt.
Yes, yes, it definitely costs more budget, but
I just like to imagine that every 2 months you're working on this, you're like, okay. Oil this?
More money now.
They don't even know. They don't even know what they're funding.
They don't even know.
They're just
They don't know. But it was expensive, but I feel like it was such a cool fucking experience.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is you've made an anime.
Yeah.
This is no one can be like, well, it was made by. No, dude, this is every aspect of this is an anime.
You've literally achieved a dream that I think every weeb watching this episode and isn't watching this episode can only dream about doing,
Yeah, I mean,
So it's fucking awesome.
I think it's going to hit me when it's actually all finished because right now it's I'm so much in grind mode, getting this I've
you just gotta get it done.
Yeah, I've kind of I have put my soul into this. This is not just in the characters, but obviously as you can tell, my my culture, my background as
Absolutely.
well. Even from someone who didn't grow even someone who grew outside of Thailand. The aspects I put into this are just shit I heard my mom speak about, and going to my grandma's house and going to the temples and just getting a vibe of everything there.
Yeah.
It's just I've put everything into this, and I just hope it's honestly half decent.
Mate,
I have faith.
yeah, you know what? Knowing you, if it's ass, I'll be shocked. It's honestly.
And yeah, we are currently, as you can tell, we are in the final we are in the final stages of this. All that is left is just to get the final finishing touches done, get the trailer done, release it at Anime Expo, which I hope has gone well. And then eventually I want to do a theater premiere, even though it is just a short film.
Yeah.
I
I'll still get a large popcorn.
I wanted, I came into the project treating this like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, which I don't know if opportunities are coming for this. I'm not really thinking about that right now. I just wanted to put my everything into this.
Yeah.
And initially I was a little scared, right? Because to my knowledge, I don't think another YouTuber has done this. At least done like a, we've had like YouTubers who have done like cartoons or done like animated productions, like Smiling Friends,
never
for
like
example.
gone through the whole Japanese system.
Yeah. But I'm the anime guy, so I wanted to do an anime, and I was scared someone was going to beat me to the punch, which touch wood, this isn't going to age badly, but I'm pretty confident because after going through this project, it's kind of like dawned on me just how much fucking work this takes. Yeah. This took up so much of my time. This past like year and a half, 2 years maybe. Every time I'd go on like the Trash Taste, like ending of Trash Taste, I'm like, guys, I'm working on something. It's taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah,
it's taking up a lot of my time, but it's coming. It's in order for a YouTuber to do this, and I mean, Corey Kenshin is the person I think about most recently that has made like a manga, or like a full manga, and I'm sure he can attest how much time this takes out of your schedule.
Takes a lot,
how much creative energy this takes
I mean,
out
bro
of you.
didn't upload for like a year and a half.
Yeah, he didn't upload for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And you kind of need that kind of commitment to make a project like this, because
Absolutely.
having to juggle this project with Trash Taste and my own channel, I'm gonna be real. This has been, I've lost hairs. I've not had a single free moment of like.
Yeah, I think you've been busier than I've ever seen.
Yeah,
this has been
absolutely.
crazy.
And it's kind of like this one thing where, you know, sometimes you make a big project and it's like a big cyclothon or like a big marathon where it's like this project leads to 5 days of content or 2 weeks of content. I have dedicated a year and a half of my life of stress for what is going to amount to 20 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
And I don't regret a single moment of it.
Man, that 20 minutes that will leave an impact.
Absolutely.
I think like people who watch this, I'm sure they'll feel the weight of it.
No, we're all incredibly proud of you.
Yeah.
Man. Like, this is fucking dope.
Yeah. So it is, like I said, animation is not a profitable thing. This is definitely not going to make me money. Like I said, the time I took out of it, which I could have used making more content, more sponsors or whatever. It's all time that I lost, but this, like I said, is my dream project. And it's the most creatively gratifying thing I've ever worked on, bar none.
I mean, what a satisfying full cycle almost. Like you've spent your entire like adult life talking about anime, and then boom, you finally get to be a part of it and kind of give back.
You're never going to be able to talk shit about another anime ever again.
I know, right? I know. It's
every time a crap anime comes out, you
you'll be like, well, I can imagine they were in the onsen having a hard time figuring this out, and I'm sympathetic, and
it's like I can see the onsen sesh watching this scene,
and it just like working on this just makes me have an appreciation to like even like every anime that might not be the next big thing or the big AAA production. Like any show being made has so much fucking work put into it.
Absolutely.
No one wants to make crap, which I don't want to make crap.
No.
Maybe this will turn out to, I don't know how this is going to turn out.
I think
I don't know
me and Jerry both know you have very strict quality control.
Yes,
on stuff.
absolutely.
And when you told me about it, I was like, "There's no doubt in my mind that this will be bad."
Yeah.
As in, like this. Sorry, this could be bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's like, I'm knowing you.
It's not even like it's not even in my brain at the moment. I just want to know how good it's actually going to be.
Especially because you've got you've got a lot of creative control on it.
Absolutely.
You're funding it. I feel like it's a no-brainer.
No, we trust you. Bro.
Yeah.
I know this is going to cook.
So
I know this is going to go hard.
So touch wood, I hoped I cooked a half decent meal, even if it's only half decent. I'm honestly happy with that.
Look, it's also like your first time. So half decent. It's like the fact that you would even be able to make something half decent. I'm sure it's gonna be better than that though.
Yeah, I
know it's. Gonna be
it's weird because I approach this the same way I approach any kind of YouTube video where I just told a story or made a video that I wanted to make, and I just hope I didn't necessarily make it to get viewed or seen. I just hope that if it can connect with one or two people, then that's pretty much what.
Oh, dude, trust me, C Gang is gonna go crazy for this shit.
I think they should.
They're gonna be like, finally, some representation that's fucking good.
So that is pretty much the end of the story so far.
Yeah.
Halfway through the story so far before the actual release of it. I didn't talk too much about the plots.
Everyone's gonna be so excited, man.
You guys know it's a world. You know, it's a story about home. That's pretty much all I want you guys to know going into this. And look forward to the end of August, I guess. End of August is going to be the theater release, and then I think I'm going to release it a week after the theater release, since I'm mostly doing that just so I can show you guys in the theater.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's basically what I'm doing. What is another sponsor to hire out to theater for a night? You know?
I know a guy.
What's that meme? It's like, I'll be there no matter what.
And I hope you guys enjoy it. If it's when it's out on YouTube, I will be selling limited tickets to the theater release when we do finalize a day. I'm not gonna lie, most of the tickets, or a lot of the tickets, I want to save for my family, my friends to see it. That's I pitched this to Geeks Plus as a promotional event. I just want to share it. I just want to share my labor of love to the people I love.
Geeks Plus is like, what's the business for?
I probably should be
none.
Yes, once again.
Joey just pulls a t-shirt out of his bag. He's like, this is the plan.
If you want to support me, then you can buy the merch.
When is the merch coming out?
At the same time
as the anime.
Same time as the anime.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
more info to come though.
Yeah, the merch is, I will say it's based on, heavily based on the Payanak Naga design that we did, because I think that's so fucking cool, and I'm so fucking proud of that.
Yeah. Our team's cooking, don't worry.
Yeah, and there's one other thing which is escaping me right now. When we get a date for the theater, I will announce it on Twitter or something. Right now, we are struggling to find theater space because we are competing against Demon Slayer.
Oh
yeah.
Because the Demon Slayer movie is coming out.
Which tell them you'll sell it out. It'll be sold out.
Which I'm just like, okay. This is what I'm competing
I didn't even know
against.
there was another Demon Slayer movie to the
Yeah,
I didn't know either.
There's another Demon Slayer movie coming out.
I'm not surprised though.
But if you want the one-time release, I'm going to be there to just, I'm going to be there as doing like the director thing, to come on stage, be like, thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's mainly there just so I can share what I love, what I've done with my friends. That's pretty much it. That's everything, man.
Super proud of you,
I would.
Yes.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
Just reach over.
I'm just over here.
And I apologize if you got bored. I talked for 2 hours.
No, man.
No, dude, this is great.
This is so interesting.
Because I think we wanted to ask you about all this stuff anyway. So I think, and our audience most definitely wanted to know about this as well.
I think we didn't want to nag you while you're doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you tell us stuff when you want to tell us stuff.
Yeah.
It's annoying always having to give new information, be like, actually, we scrapped that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's always good to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this wasn't even like every twist and turn in the story because I
look forward to the documentary.
Yeah, I have documented every single part of this journey. It is going to be a long documentary.
I can't wait.
It is going to be long, but
wait.
I've basically documented even more than what I've said here.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Look forward to that as well. That's probably going to be the week after it releases on YouTube.
That's what's up.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, hope you guys enjoyed that. And look at all these patrons. I'm sure they're going to love the fuck out of this anime.
I hope so. I
know they will. Let us know. By the way, actually, by the time this episode comes out, the trailer will most likely have been out. at Anime Expo. So if you were there at Anime Expo, or you are currently there at Anime Expo as this comes out, let us know your thoughts and opinions.
I hope it's gone down well.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts and opinions about it all. But hey, in the meantime, here's something else you can watch. Our weekly Patreon exclusive content that you guys over on the Patreon support every single week. Mudan, why don't you play a clip of that?
Fuck off, gnomes. No! Ducking and weaving, ducking and weaving.
Why is the fucking exit so far away and in pitch blackness? I don't know where I'm going. Oh god, I'm dead. Fuck.
Hope somebody made it to the car, to the ship. Oh god.
Oh no!
Oh wait, but I think it counted.
You were
Did it?
so close. But hey, if you want to check that out and support the show in the process, head on over to patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.